firstly, conditions aren't great at the minute. We're already hearing that Scotland possibly could try a kicking game like last week. What do you think in terms of conditions for tomorrow's game?
Look, I think it's to be quite windy. So look, we'll tailor our game plan accordingly, and we'll try to play the conditions as best we can. Look, I'd imagine Scotland will be taking a look at that as well. But being out here today, it's quite good to get a run out and get a bit of a feel for it, and to see how, well, not for me personally, how the ball flies when you kick it, but when you're passing the ball, how it comes to you whenever you're catching it, and those bits and pieces. But look, ultimately, we have a game plan, and we might tailor it a little bit over the next 24 hours or just under 24 hours, but the weather conditions are going to be the same for both teams, and we've got to make sure that we look after all our bits and pieces and make sure that we can be in this game.
Do you think it makes for an attractive game of rugby tomorrow? I mean, it might be the free flow and stuff I saw last week.
I think it's hopefully to be dry. It's to rain in the morning, I believe, and then to dry up. But at least if it's dry and windy, you can still have a chance. You know, a dry ball you can do most things with. It leaves it a wee bit trickier for the kickers. But hopefully if it stays dry, you know, look, it's two teams that want to move the ball a bit, and hopefully we'll still get that.
Well, with that, you know, obviously a really harsh weekend last weekend for yourselves, but how much is this going to be a case of the Irish coming wounded backlash against the Scots? Because I think that's a lot of what people were thinking here last weekend when the Scots saw that result.
Yeah, I think that we were very disappointed with the result and parts of the performance last week, and we've worked very hard on looking at how we can improve and on how we need to improve, because we've looked at the Scots and we've seen how good they are, how dangerous they are. So look, we're going to have to produce something significantly better than last week. But look, it's always the goal for us, and we fell down last week, but it doesn't mean that we throw everything out and we attempt to start again. You know, we've built a lot of things over the last number of years, and it's times like this when the pressure comes on that you probably have to stick tighter to what you know, and you just ask a little bit more individually from the players to produce something a bit more collectively, with a few players coming in that didn't play last week. You know, they'll be looking to make a bit of a point that they should have been involved last week. So look, we'll have to make sure that we get our things right for sure, because if we produce something similar, then, you know, the Scots are a great team, and they've shown us, you know, most recently here 2 years ago.
Is it easier to form a response, Rory, if you're hurting?
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of frustration in the camp after last week, and look, it was a bit around the way we were perceived to be bullied, but it was probably mostly around our accuracy. You know, we felt that to get into the game we need to be accurate. You know, that sort of comes hand in hand with physicality for us, because it allows us to get phases, it allows us to get carries, it allows us to get ruck cleans, it gets us out of our own half, and it allows us to attack a bit more in defence. So, you know, the accuracy last week was the thing that we felt let us down the most, and that's what is probably, look, the reviews are tough. They're always tough with Joe anyway, but, you know, they were tough this week, and the good thing is it's a 7-day turnaround to go again, and it wasn't one of the fallow weeks where you have to wait 2 weeks.
There's been some criticism, and Joe touched on it yesterday, about that Ireland have become too predictable and easy to read. What would you say to that?
Look, I think that people say different things, and, you know, it wasn't that long ago we kicked too much, and then we became predictable because we didn't kick enough last week. And, you know, look, it is what it is. I think we're very happy in the process we're going through, and sometimes you get days whenever you're not exactly where you want to be, and sometimes, like, we've probably played worse than that and managed to win games and been able to address, be annoyed, and move on the next week and be better. You know, we weren't fantastic against Argentina, but we were able to do enough to win that game, and I think England, to their credit, came and they took every opportunity that they created themselves. We presented a lot to them, and it just didn't allow us to survive in those tough moments long enough to try to get a result from it.
Rory, what does the weather conditions and the promise of what's coming do, for starters, for you as a hooker on the line-out, and then overall tactically as a captain?
Look, I think line-outs are difficult the best of times with the wind and rain. If the rain comes, leaves it difficult. But look, we have a game plan. We have a very, very good forwards coach. And I think Quinn Rue is probably used to calling lineouts in reasonably windy conditions in the sports ground. So you got to have faith in what our plan is and stick to it. In terms of a captaincy, you got to feel what it's like on the day, and a bit of it is, how is it affecting the kickers? How is it affecting the line out? How's your scrum going? Because there are many sort of cards you can play there, and it really is. We'll have a plan. Certainly, myself and Johnny will have a bit of a plan as to how we see the game going from a sort of captain and a general point of view. But you've also got to be massively adaptable, and probably something that we probably could have adapted a little bit better last week, and we got to think a bit quicker on our feet this week.
Rory, how much of a blow would it be to lose Dev for the rest of the tournament?
Look, it's massive. He's been a big part of what we've created here over the last while, and he's a great player. And I would say over the last 18 months, 2 years, he's probably played some of the best rugby of his career. So to lose a player like that, and like just the intellectual property that he brings around the line out, and I think you all know him, just the calmness that he has, is a great thing to have around the team environment. So look, he'll be a loss as any great player is. But when these things happen, it gives an opportunity to somebody else. And Quinn Rue, I thought, was great when he came on. He showed a lot of physicality. He's been playing very well for Connacht, and this is going to be a massive opportunity for him, and also a big opportunity for James Ryan to step up and also lead in that second row.
Is it typical that you went 2 weeks before the tournament, everyone was looking at in depth a lot? Very impressive, isn't it, with everybody's fit, and all of a sudden you get a few injuries.
Yeah, and look, I suppose it's better happening now, and we see just exactly how much depth we have, because we saw at a last World Cup, what a couple of injuries can do. You need to make sure that the layer below that, and you even look at Alton Delan on the bench. He has been, when called upon for Ireland, he has been fantastic for us, and it's great to see him back involved. So yeah, look, it's unfortunate for the three boys. To lose three world-class players in one position is difficult, but look, what an opportunity for the two boys to come in and show what they're about, and actually to say that, yeah, look, we've lost three world-class players, but we've actually opened our eyes to two that were right there as well, and what depth we'll have then. We'll not just have four, but we'll have six.
Rory, Joe mentioned that he felt something wasn't quite right on Friday, just in and around the camp. Did you notice that yourself, and how it been different, if so, this week?
Look, hindsight, you can pick on a couple of things, and I think sometimes you get so fixated with making sure that you know where to go that you actually almost become a little bit hesitant, and I think that it's hard to...
Did you sense that last week?
You sensed it before the game, probably more so than the Friday. The Friday's a strange day anyway, because it's sort of, there's a little bit of lightheartedness, there's a little bit of training, there's a bit of giddiness because you're so close to a big game, and it's hard sometimes to read something into that. Joe probably has a better handle of that from outside of the group, or from outside of the group when we're doing our captain's run. But certainly before the game, I thought we were quite quiet. And look, we're a reasonably quiet bunch anyway, bar... There's obviously like Peter, Johnny and myself are a wee bit more vocal than the rest, but it is a quiet, so you don't necessarily always read into the quietness, but just the fact that just when you look back now, I thought that we were a little bit hesitant in the warm-up. We made a few mistakes in the warm-up, which is very unlike us, and we just didn't get the same buzz that we normally generate in warm-ups. And
did you identify why that was?
I don't know. It's hard to know. We've looked at a few things within the camp. We've looked at for example, England I think they basically did full contact session for 60 minutes or something last Wednesday, whereas we were very much trying to get ourselves recovered and ready after European Cup games into that. And look, I think you can pick on anything. You can read into things too much, and I think just for whatever reason we started a bit sluggish, and against England we just weren't able to change it. You always strive to find out why, and I think the preparation has been a lot better. There's been a bit more edge in training, and that comes with learning from your mistakes, but also it comes from being hurt and being a little bit frustrated with individually how you played, then your mini units, your actual units, and then as a team.
I know you're just concentrating obviously on tomorrow's game. Sean O'Brien is such an important big figure in Irish rugby. Reports that he said to leave Leinster and join London Irish after the Rugby World Cup. Surprised by that?
Look, I think it's we obviously haven't heard anything. You know, that's Shawnee's his own contract negotiations are his business, and look, I think it would be wrong of me to comment on somebody's personal situation. And look, all you can say from a player's point of view is that you know and you trust that players weigh up the situation and ultimately do what's right for them and their families.
Okay. Okay, guys, we'll switch into the embodied written word.